Sound good.
Crypto Warriors, Stagnation, top of the morning to you.
Champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another spectacular, monumental, epic Monday. Double O, how you doing today, sir?
What champions do, man?
What champions do, winning all the time, right? Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, please let us know if you're here. Okay, please drop something in the comments. Good morning to you all. Hope everyone is having a spectacular one. It's absolutely incredible. What are we talking about today, Double O? I know we talk about Bitcoin all the time
Yeah.
and the future of payments and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I feel like every day I just want to talk about Bitcoin, but go for it. What are we talking about?
Yeah. Actually, we're still gonna talk about Bitcoin today, but today's topic is gonna talk about the future of payments.
Right.
We were reading this article on the Coin Telegraph. I'm like, wait, this would be a great topic
Yeah.
for everything that is going on right now. I'm sure you guys have started to see that we are transitioning away from cash, from a cash economy to credit cards and making payments with your phone. And even with that, we have multiple intermediaries in that process. And now we have blockchains, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies filling up that gap. And the question now is that the future? Is it here to stay? Or is it going away? Or are they going to use the old Fed now situation to wipe them out of the system?
This is a very interesting one. And we're going to dive right into it here. I have so much to say about this. A lot of it is just really just me venting
Hey, Fed now is
due
coming.
to frustrations in how things have kind of evolved over time. But yeah, Fed now apparently joining the shitcoin
squad.
community.
Yes, joining the squad.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a little bit of a read here, right? And it talks about the future economy, anticipating the central role of crypto payments in financial transactions. With advances in scaling and interoperability, cryptocurrencies are more ready than ever for widespread adoption.
So why do we need Fed now?
Well, isn't Fed now also another cryptocurrency?
Hey, I just thought I'd ask that question. If they know, let us know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Well, let's look in the chat here. BK Crypto in the house. Boom. Good morning to you, sir. Boom. BK Crypto says, good morning, sir. Blockchain bully. Good morning. He says, good morning, Stack. Look at that. Blockchain bully, man. Love that. That's incredible, right? Good morning to you, sir. Good morning to everyone watching. Hope everyone had a spectacular weekend. Actually, tomorrow is a holiday. What are you guys doing? Is what, Independence Day?
Yep.
Let us know in the chat what you guys are doing for Independence Day. Okay. Personally, I think I'm probably gonna engage in some extreme go karting if they're open. If not, I'll just be laying here staring at the ceiling, something like that, right?
I'll be watching out for the aliens.
Watching out for the aliens. You know, there's been a lot of reports of alien appearances lately. You know, and who knows, man? When it comes to aliens, I communicate with those people, man. They're not here yet. They really don't want to go and visit us. They kind of terrorize with what we're doing. Tracking on a whole new level. This is something that, it's interesting because in society, at least in American society, right, there's a lot of things that we all understand that we should be paying more attention to. There's a lot of things that we all realize that we should maybe treat it with a bit more, how would you say, care and respect.
Mm.
For example, our privacy, politics, money, religion. These are things that we should all, how can we put it? How you handle these things is kind of a value package, if you will.
Hmm.
And so over time, this has kind of become really relegated to being discussed only in forums where things are on an extreme.
It's almost illegal that you're not even allowed to talk
Exactly.
or speak it.
Exactly. So I think that it is good to be able to push these things. It may make people feel uncomfortable, but that is fine.
Hmm.
Okay. Life is not meant to be comfortable
Hmm.
because when you're being tracked, everyone is uncomfortable, but no one is saying anything about it, right? It's kind of like what we're listening to on that Twitter space where people see things going wrong, but nobody's saying anything or no one is taking action.
Yep.
I think, yeah,
Money is information, and money is everything about you. If
yeah,
the government knows everything that you do, which we already see with what happens with the insurance company,
right.
oh, you've been eating too much sugar. Oh, well, guess what? You're not qualifying for that life insurance. Boom, you're gone. So that's one of the disadvantages that we see with government access to money and all your information.
Absolutely. The levels of privacy goes down. I know people might say, what do you have to hide? But also, you also have to look at the flip side. What can the person with that information
Do.
use that information against you for? Well, so now here's before we get into kind of like a lot of my frustrations with how this whole situation is going on, right?
Hmm.
Just some basics here. We see that at least they say that gas prices are dropping to new lows depending on which blockchain you're on. There's so many, which is also one of the problems, right?
Hmm.
And crypto payments at scale are currently prevented by regulation, lack of understanding, and mass adoption, as well as digital assets being used primarily for investment purposes for starters. Do you agree with this?
Most people that see crypto as a form of investment.
Mm.
Thanks to the bankers, thanks to the way the media carries it.
People are trying to make a quick buck. If you is
You
that what
can't blame
you
them.
say? Yeah.
Inflation is destroying them.
Yeah, you can't blame people. I don't think that that's a bad thing. It should be good to trade, right? It's just that they're doing this in an environment where the regulation is also playing games against them.
Yes.
Even in the regulated environment, it's also still heavily manipulated, right?
Yep.
And so, yet, there's like never-ending articles talking about the adoption of cryptocurrencies and the future of payments,
Mm.
which is becoming a bit, at least on my end, it seems to me like it's just repetitive and almost like this. It's like a stalling tactic, right? Having people running in circles while you try to plan the things that you're planning.
Yep. Because right now we don't have regulations,
Yeah.
but they can regulate marijuana.
Ain't that interesting? Actually, recently in Maryland,
Yep.
they have technically legalized marijuana. Anyone can walk into a store and buy it, no medical card needed. But it was all in wordplay,
For the
and
longest
and
time.
no one is speaking about it.
Yep.
Interesting. Not that I'm complaining about
No,
marijuana being legalized or anything,
actually
but
we see the same thing playing out here. I think they are taking their time to figure out how it's gonna work and how they can tax it. So until they're
mm,
able to figure that out, in the meantime, it's just gonna make it a mayhem environment for everybody involved.
right. So that's what I'm saying. That if a Fed now coin is coming through, it seems to me that everything that is crypto is going to get wrecked, like we've been seeing recently. However, the whole time, Bitcoin is able to execute on these payments, right? If you look at the uh, activity so whether you're looking at the mempool, or you're just looking at chain analysis, you see that there's been a significant rise. There's over 1 million Bitcoin wallets now with one full Bitcoin in it. That says something, right? We're seeing a clear path of adoption going. I think the issue comes back to this regulation situation where governments refuse to catch up to it because they have an alternative agenda. Which, in that scenario, I think that society as a whole, because we have places like Twitter Spaces now, right, um, is likely to arrange around their own values and overcome a lot of the perverted ideas that are essentially being rolled out by central planners. This is my vision of the situation. It may not be a common opinion or anything, but this is just my observations so far, outside of what is the status quo.
Yep.
Your thoughts?
Yep, and I think this article tends to kind of start pushing us towards that ideology
Yeah.
of, if you understand the current environment that we're in now, right? The article talks about how Bitcoin was initially configured for a payment to payment, wallet to wallet kind of configuration, right? Peer to peer, digital cash,
Hmm.
right? And then when the central bankers got involved, of course they're going to put their own schemes into it, which is basically the fact that, oh, wait a second, we can make this an investment portfolio. Let's put it on an exchange.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and pump up the price, kind of like what they did with gold, which is kind of what you see with what's going on with the old BlackRock situation. And in this article,
Mm.
they talked about very critical points here. They talked about cryptocurrencies and they talked about Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin was the initial solution to fix the problems that we have with the central bankers.
Right.
And of course, on top of that, just like we had during the internet days, is that the internet did not actually implement what its initial intended goal was. Other solutions started coming on top of that, which is why we have cryptocurrencies. So I do see a future where we're going to have multiple other cryptocurrencies thanks to the central bankers, with the CBDCs as well.
Right.
And then we're going to have tokenization. Nigeria is already trying that tokenization of the stock market.
Mm.
All this FTX, USDC, Tron, and all this stuff. Those are organizations that are found a way to use the ICO process in the crypto space to come to market without regulations. So I do see a space where we could probably start tokenizing because it reduces the intermediaries. It's
Mm.
also actually a lot more safe than when the banks fail. It's better for you to put something in the tokenized environment than to put it in the bank because of the intermediaries involved.
What is the backend of a tokenized environment?
The backend of a tokenized environment,
Yeah.
a blockchain.
Right. And a blockchain is just a database. I think the important piece
Your money in the bank is also a database.
there is. I don't think that there is much that a lot of blockchains are offering that we don't really have right now with existing systems, other
Yes.
than when you have that ability to decentralize the information. There is really nothing that you can do on, I don't know, what is it, Ethereum smart contracts, whatever, that you could not already do. And because at the end of the day, it's just information on servers and
Mm-hmm.
then programming that information to operate within certain parameters
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to fit the rules that you're trying to accomplish, right? The decentralization piece is really,
Is
and the
the
speed piece is really what is really important here, right?
exactly.
That is
Well,
why a lot of times when we see, sometimes it just feels like you're climbing a hill that you can never reach the top, right? Because the amount of mainstream just blasts so much information out there, right? And obviously we're just a small voice and things like that, and this is what really frustrates me about this thing.
if you're not a techie, it's very hard for you to understand,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the decentralization part of the cryptocurrencies, if you're a techie, you will realize that it's really not decentralized.
And then if you are a techie, right? For people who are coming from a techie angle,
Yep.
right? They do not understand finance,
Yes.
right? So it's like they're trying to learn finance. So then this now becomes this misunderstanding or like a diversion where the people in finance now tend to lead the direction of development,
And
right?
I think this is why we have the crypto wars, right?
Yeah.
The Bitcoiners mostly could be the techies, right? And the
Okay.
crypto gang are the bankers that are saying, hey, wait a second, we can do the same thing that we do in the banking system in the space. DeFi, so on and so forth.
This is true. This is true. Just except in a decentralized manner is
Yes. Yeah.
what I would imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely interesting situation. However, when we talk about this feature of crypto, of at least of
Payments.
payments, right?
Right.
I think here are some things that is always good to remember.
Mm.
Payment timeline, number of intermediaries involved, as you mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm.
fees, of course, and protection against chargeback fraud. These are some things that I don't think we should be dealing with most of them in 2023. The Bitcoin blockchain definitely provides a solution to many of this right now, where you're making payments by Lightning or on chain.
Yep.
You can have payments that are rapid, fast, with final settlement or over the weekend, right? Still being able to make those payments over the weekend. Number of intermediaries involved, reducing points of failures.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing. All right. And these are all things that are just on the edge, waiting to happen, right? Protection against chargebacks. I remember back in the days when I was much younger, man, I used to roll up to the gas station and I knew I only had like $10 on my card, but I knew that, it's going to only get like pre-charge when I roll up to a gas station and I want to buy gas. And I was like, yeah, we just bang, roll it in there and we'll pay for it later. Not a good idea, but but that is just an example of what does chargebacks or type
And
of situation
this
might.
article they
Or what that
mentioned
situation has double. Is that double spending or chargeback?
is
That's double spending.
chargeback.
No, that might be double spending because the money on my card, I'm spending money. Actually, I'm spending money I don't have, and I'm also spending the money that I have. But you get the point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Carry on.
You can do that on the blockchain. That
Yeah,
puts an end to that.
exactly.
I have to say though, one other thing that this article mentions that you don't see in national media is the fact that companies like Microsoft, Intuit, AT&T, Burger King, KFC, and McDonald's, Tesla said it's going to come back and start accepting Bitcoin. Well,
Mm,
we're waiting for that. But there's also conversation. He also talked about it recently, I think this weekend, about if Burger King gets back to accepting uh, uh, Bitcoin or
right.
Dogecoin, that it's going to buy more Dogecoin, something like that. AMC already accepts Dogecoin and so on and so forth. So the adoption is there. The big corporations see the future,
Mm,
right? So why then is regulation lagging behind? So if you are on the sidelines saying you're waiting for regulations, you might be mistaken because the big organizations are not getting sued by SEC
yeah,
saying, "Hey, McDonald's, why are you accepting Dogecoin?"
yeah,
They're actually attacking the coins themselves,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
So yeah, you have to start thinking about it. What I think the future is already here.
it
It's
is.
just that regulation is lagging behind, especially for the cryptos, not for Bitcoin,
Yeah,
because Bitcoin wasn't designed for the fiat space.
regulation is stifling the progress
Yep.
of the technology here. Now, 916 here. Now, here's one thing. I think one thing that for all of us, right, whether it's for us doing the show, for all of us also watching, I think one thing that we all envision as people were really immersed in
Hmm.
this crypto space is a future where we have payments that are outside of the dollar system, right? And over time, there will be a lot of countries that will start adopting. At what time do you think the official U.S. government will actually make a statement where they are friendly to accepting Bitcoin payment in one form or another, like a public statement? How long do you think that will happen? If you please drop it that in the comments, I would like to see. Let's all make a bold prediction right now. Okay. What year do you think the US government is going to go, you know what? Bitcoin is cool. You can make payments with Bitcoin. Or, or like at least I imagine an environment like that, crypto will be like, quite prominent, acceptable, not even thought about anymore. But what year do you guys think? Let us know in the comment that the US is going to finally accept payments of some sort in Bitcoin. Kind of not necessarily like on El Salvador scale, but something like that.
I mean,
What year do you think you see something like
the
that?
US is already doing it. Are you saying that the US government?
Where the US government goes, hey, listen, Bitcoin is now also legal money, just like the dollar is. So if someone comes to you and they wants to pay with Bitcoin, you should accept it.
All right. So I will give you from the knowledge that I've acquired is
Yeah.
that there's already conversation about possibly adding Bitcoin as part of our central reserves.
Okay.
If we're ever going to survive this global world where we're transitioning, a lot of countries are transitioning away from the US dollar.
Mhm.
So, how do you backfill that? The more countries that accept Bitcoin, the more important it is for America to also accept Bitcoin. So, if the next presidential candidate, which we have four presidential candidates talking about accepting or adopting Bitcoin right now,
Mm.
if in 2024 into 2025, we have a president that is not being politicking and literally goes by his words and enforces that,
Mm.
2025, 2026, 2 years from now, it's going to come fast.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2027, 26, 27, late 26, 27 ish. That's
Yeah.
what I think it's going to be. Right. Well, if you have any predictions, leave them in the comments, leave them on our Twitter, and we will like to know what you think about it. Right. Any other thoughts on this futures of payment situation here?
Yeah, I really think that just like the internet, um, the Bitcoin and crypto space, we're not going to see a space where it's just one. They've tried it before in the past. This has happened before,
Right.
where we had the Texas dollar, and then we have the New York dollar and the Philadelphia dollar, and the Federal Reserve found a way to get us back into one coin.
Right.
That's probably what they're going to try to do now. But I think there's going to be a period of time where there's going to be multiple tokens, right? Tokenizations might stay, but currencies will it's eventually going to eventually have to do it down into maybe a few of them. Stable coins might hang around as well, but it's going to be Bitcoin and some other crap,
Awesome.
most likely.
Well,
That's what
look
I
at that.
think.
Look at that. I think Bitcoin and CBDCs will be kind of there, and then I'm still waiting for Ethereum to kind of like, I saw something this morning about Ethereum being at least Solana saying Ethereum could be a
Yeah,
level 2.
level 2 on
Yeah,
Ethereum. I thought that was
interesting,
funny.
interesting
A
situation, man.
backfire.
Interesting
Hey,
situation.
guess what though?
Right.
Yahoo was Google was once on Yahoo.
Google was once on Yahoo. Really?
Google was once a sub site on Yahoo.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know this.
So if that could happen between Google and Yahoo,
yeah, it can happen.
what do you say?
It can happen. It can
so
happen.
Solana could just
It can
flip
happen.
in
It can
Ethereum
happen.
and
Hey, maybe that's what it needs to flip Bitcoin. Who knows? It needs all the help it can get. Well, we are up on time here, Double O. Any final thoughts before we close this one? Thanks to everyone who's joining us to watch every morning. It's incredible.
The future of payments is here, guys. Regulations, as always, the government is behind schedule. Eventually. So please, this is not financial advice. Don't sleep on this.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. We have to go and continue to average down on our Bitcoins or maybe get liquidated on Dogecoin, depending on the day. All right. Until then, please subscribe to our channel, STAKK. Follow us on Twitter. Skip those two in the middle. We don't really care. And of course, we are on Spotify at STAKK. What an incredible time. Have a spectacular Monday, everyone. And have an even better Independence Day. Until next time, praise and out.
I've been looking out for the aliens, yeah.
It's aliens, man. Oh, man. Incredible.
Son, God.